Imagine spending over a decade as the undisputed king of young adult dystopian cinema, only to sit down, get strapped to a literal polygraph machine, and have a machine prove you don't even believe your own franchise is cooler than your rivals. That is the exact, hilarious reality that just unfolded for Jennifer Lawrence in front of millions of viewers. Over the last 48 hours, Vanity Fair dropped its latest lie detector test video segment, pairing the Oscar winner with her current co-star, Robert Pattinson. The two Hollywood heavyweights didn't sit down for a standard, overly polished press junket filled with repetitive talking points. Instead, they took the opportunity to ruthlessly grill each other with burning, decades-old questions that fans have been debating for generations. While the entire clip is packed with the kind of unhinged, chaotic energy you only get when you put two notoriously unfiltered actors in the same room, one specific moment has completely broken the internet's pop culture feeds. Pattinson, with a completely straight face, confronted Lawrence about the fact that she famously auditioned for the role of Bella Swan in the original Twilight movie before finding her definitive stardom as Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games. When he pressed her on the ultimate millennial and Gen Z debate, asking her point-blank if she truly thinks The Hunger Games is a cooler franchise than Twilight, Lawrence confidently uttered a single word: no. The polygraph administrator immediately confirmed she was telling the absolute truth, causing a wave of shock, memes, and intense digital nostalgia to flood the entertainment ecosystem. The underlying business driving this viral internet moment is a textbook case study in how modern movie marketing has been completely revolutionized. Lawrence and Pattinson are currently on a massive promotional push for their intense, highly acclaimed psychological drama titled Die My Love. Directed by the legendary auteur Lynn Ramsey and backed by major film institutions, the project is a gritty, unyielding adaptation of Ariana Harwich's 2012 novel. It follows a young mother, played by Lawrence, living in rural Montana as she battles severe postpartum depression and psychosis, a harrowing mental health journey that methodically unravels her grip on reality and strains her relationship with her husband, played by Pattinson. The film originally made major waves during its festival run, picking up prestigious award nominations and widespread critical acclaim for Lawrence's blistering, raw lead performance before settling into its exclusive global streaming home on Mubi. But because Die My Love is an independent, deeply artistic, and emotionally heavy piece of cinema rather than a mainstream, explosive Hollywood blockbuster, the marketing team faced a unique challenge. How do you convince the average, everyday social media scroller to tune into a dark, complex art house film about postpartum psychosis? The answer was to lean entirely into the massive, beloved real-world personas of its two A-list stars, using the lighthearted, deeply nostalgic Vanity Fair lie detector format as a strategic gateway to drive millions of modern viewers directly to a highbrow streaming platform. The digital response to this video has been an absolute juggernaut, completely dominating timelines across TikTok, X, and various cinematic subreddits over the last 2 days. Viral fancam edits isolating Pattinson's look of profound disbelief have racked up millions of views, with creators meticulously dissecting Lawrence's immediate, laughing defense, where she yelled out that the machine was clearly broken. On pop culture forums, a massive, highly detailed social media debate has been reignited, forcing audiences to look back at the late 2000s and early 2010s when both stars were the absolute faces of global teenage fandom. One side of the internet is celebrating Lawrence's brutal honesty, pointing out that while The Hunger Games may have achieved higher critical praise and an Oscar-winning trajectory for its lead, the campy, hyperdramatic, and intensely dedicated subculture surrounding Twilight possesses a timeless, untouchable level of cultural coolness that cannot be manufactured. The comment sections have turned into a fascinating archive of millennial nostalgia, with thousands of users marveling at the bizarre, multiverse reality, where Lawrence could have been the one standing next to Pattinson's Edward Cullen in the misty woods of Forks, Washington, completely altering the trajectory of both of their historic careers. When you analyze why this specific interaction has escalated so rapidly in the public consciousness, it becomes incredibly obvious that it stands as a refreshing, almost shocking departure from the current landscape of influencer-driven celebrity culture. We currently live in an era where public relations teams tightly control every single syllable that comes out of a star's mouth. Modern influencers and emerging actors are trained to be hyper-calculated, constantly managing their personal brands, avoiding any statement that could alienate a fan base, and delivering sterile, media-trained answers that offer zero genuine personality. So, when the public is suddenly confronted with two absolute titans of the film industry who genuinely do not care about the corporate script, it feels like an absolute breath of fresh air. Lawrence has built her entire multi-decade career on this exact brand of unapologetic, unfiltered authenticity, famously tripping up the stairs at the Oscars, speaking candidly about her love for reality television, and refusing to adopt the traditional, elite persona expected of a prestige actress. Pattinson matches her energy perfectly with his own legendary history of chaotic interviews, where he famously admitted to making up wild lies to journalists just to see if they would print them. Watching these two specific individuals navigate a literal lie detector test creates an undeniable, magnetic form of entertainment because the audience knows they are witnessing real, unmanufactured human chemistry rather than a calculated corporate transaction. Furthermore, this viral moment provides a massive, highly progressive boost to the long-term reputations of both actors, demonstrating how A-list stars can successfully maintain their cultural relevance without sacrificing their artistic integrity. For years, the industry assumption was that once an actor transitions into serious, highbrow independent film work, earning nominations at Cannes and working with uncompromising directors like Lynn Ramsey, they must systematically distance themselves from the commercial, teenage blockbusters that originally paid their bills. But Lawrence and Pattinson are actively proving that you can play a deeply complex character suffering from a psychological breakdown on a streaming platform on a Friday night, and still sit down on a Saturday morning to playfully debate the camp value of vampires versus dystopian archers. It shows an immense level of secure, grounded self-awareness. They don't look down on the franchises that skyrocketed them to household names. Instead, they embrace them with a sense of humor, maturity, and nostalgia that makes them infinitely more likable to the modern public. Ultimately, this lighthearted polygraph test leaves the broader entertainment landscape watching with absolute fascination to see how this modern approach to movie promotion will reshape the future of the industry. By choosing to bypass the traditional, dry, and often exhausting academic discussions typically associated with high-art independent cinema, the team behind Die, My Love has successfully used a viral pop culture debate to introduce a challenging, vital piece of art to a massive global audience. As the memes of Pattinson's shocked reaction continue to circulate and the internet inevitably moves on to the next sudden internet disruption, the image of these two icons laughing through the truth remains a definitive win for genuine personality over corporate curation. It leaves a highly entertained public to realize that the most powerful way to cut through the noise of a saturated digital market isn't to build a bigger, flashier public relations campaign, but to simply strap your stars to a machine, turn on the cameras, and let their authentic, chaotic humanity speak completely for itself.